Why training in VR is so cool but so hard. Let's take a look and see what's going on. Just a brief story. Upon graduation, I got involved in engineering and science for making solar cells, but pretty quickly, I got into technical training. And I've been doing technical training my whole career. And this is about the evolution of training. Just want to cover a couple of points here. We're facing a problem in this country, many problems, but one is called the skilled trades gap. The idea being that we're facing some of these statistics. The average age of most skilled tradespeople in the US now is 58. That's the average. It means half are older. I remember that. 60% of the skilled trades workforce, median, mean, 60% are probably going to retire in the next 10 years. 60%. We've got to replace that, plus probably have more. How are we going to do this? How are we going to entice and train so that they can get a job as a skilled tradesperson? That's the question. How do we do that? How do we overcome this gap? What is a skilled tradesperson? This is a picture of fake skilled tradespeople. And they look really happy. Right? But this is mostly what I'm talking about. Electricians, plumbers, carpenters, pipe fitters, heavy equipment operators, HVAC technicians, those kinds of jobs. These are the kinds of positions that I'm now focused on. But we as a country, and the world actually, is facing this because we spend a lot of time going towards college educations. That's fine, I think. But the skilled trades is an area that needs a lot. And the issue is not just do we have people that might be interested in going to skilled trades, but can they be trained enough to be hired to get into skilled trades? For the last couple of years, I've been working with this company, Interplay Learning. It's a virtual company doing virtual reality. Actually, none of these people exist. We're spread over 3 continents. It's pretty cool. And the company is based on developing 3D and virtual reality simulation-based training for the skilled trades. So take a moment now to talk about, just for a second, what is VR? What do I mean by VR?
From the imagination of Stephen King.
Virtual reality holds a key to the evolution of the human mind.
With a vision of the future.
I have a game in my house that you might like to play. Would you like that?
Yeah. Okay. That was really bad.
I have different games. I even have one that could help make you smarter.
Now, Job Smith is about to enter the world of virtual reality.
It's gonna hit me! No, Job, just relax. It's gonna be like being up there with the stars, Job. Like going to another planet. His mind is like a clean, hungry sponge. I just graduated to the next level. Absorbed Latin yesterday in less than 2 hours.
A world where the normal course of events can suddenly turn inside out.
You realize, Dr. Angelo, that my intelligence has surpassed yours.
The imaginary becomes real.
Trying to get inside my head, Job.
You can't hide anything from me, Dr. Angelo.
And reality
We have no idea what he's gonna do.
is all in your mind. Stephen King. The Lawnmower Man.
Well, it's not exactly turning out like that, okay? It's more like this. All you need to do is put on a headset, have a couple of controllers in your hands. What we do, along with other companies, is we create exact replicas of the hardware that people will work on, HVAC equipment, solar equipment, whatever it might be. We create a space, we create a house, we create a room, and you're able to work in that space. You're actually able to move, pause, look around things, stop for a minute. One learner can do one path, another can do another. And you're able to manipulate tools, multimeters, gadgets, screwdrivers. You can take things apart, put them together. And the idea is that we create a world in which people work on the equipment that they're going to work on. And I've done lab-based, instructor-based, hardware-based training for years. But this allows us to augment that in a way that we've never been able to do before. The cost of doing this has now come down from millions to tens of thousands to make lessons like this. So the whole thing is becoming way more accessible to a lot more people, including trade schools. So that's the kind of world that I'm talking about us being able to create. Why did I say that VR was hard? It's not really that learning and training in VR is hard, it's that making training for VR is hard. And the idea, it struck me, it's like we're back at Xerox PARC in the 70s, creating the first graphic user interface for computers. That's basically what's happening right now. Day by day, month by month, where I'm working, we're having to invent stuff for the first time. And so that's what makes it pretty exciting, but pretty hard. These are just a few of the questions that we kind of run into. Won't cover them all, but the idea is like, how do you work with a menu? If you're working on a computer, you can read a menu on the side of the screen, or maybe even a piece of paper on the side. But if you're in 3D, where's the menu? Maybe have an avatar waiter come up and give you a menu. But the idea is that what we did was we created something where if you turn your hand like you're looking at a wristwatch, up comes a menu. And you can freeze it in space so you can work and then look at the menu and then make it go away if you want. But that's one of 1,000 different ways to do that. What's the best way? We don't know. How do you access tools? Do you have a tool belt? I don't know if any of you have done VR, but the thing is, you have a headset, you have hands, but if you look down, you have no body. There's no torso, there's no legs. It's pretty freaky to reach to a tool belt that's floating with no waist. So is that the right way to do it? Or do you go to a toolkit? You take the time to go to the toolkit. Is that the right way to do it? We don't know. Does it simply appear in your hand for the next step or not? How do you work in tiny spaces? If you want to do wiring on something small, it's pretty hard to get down that way. A couple of ways we tried is one is to make a duplicate sort of magnifying window that makes everything bigger so you can see what you're doing. Another one is to do like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, where you actually become smaller so that the things you're going to work on are bigger. But it's pretty freaky because then when you look up and around, you know, the inverter that was this big is now as tall as this room. Is that the right way to do it? We don't know. How do you work at elevated height? Let's say you wanted to change a light bulb. What do? Bring over a ladder, and then you try and step up a ladder like this, doing mime. There's no ladder to walk on. How do we do these things? We don't know. That's what makes developing training in VR so hard, but pretty cool, because we're going to invent all those answers right now. But why is training in VR cool? It's just cool. It's so fun. How many people have VR headsets and play VR games? Okay, how many fingers am I holding up? Okay. It's coming. It's coming, and it's actually very, very fun. It's really cool. Just to finish up, these are some of the advantages of doing training in VR. It's scalable. You can do hands-on training in thousands of places in hundreds of countries if you want, without having to set up separate training centers. You can deal with dangerous situations safely so that people can learn without being exposed to that real danger. You can have vastly more scenarios. In my solar training, I can have a shingle roof, a tile roof, a metal roof, things that I can never afford in a real training center. You can deal with expensive and heavy things. What if I wanted to deal with a 200-pound battery? I can't transport that to a lot of training centers, but you can do that in virtual reality. Basically, what we're doing is going back to the way we already know how to learn. As a baby, we learn like we learn in VR. You learn by doing. It's kinetic. It's connected to me. I do my mind, I do my body. It's just the right way to learn. And prices now are plummeting so that headsets, like the headset on the left, the Oculus Quest, this system used to cost $10,000 about 3 years ago. Now it costs $400. So it's becoming much more accessible and it will become much more widespread. So people say, well, where's VR? It's like, look around your shoulder. It's coming. So the world of VR training, I think, is a pretty cool place to be. Thanks.